Could Shedeur Sanders earn the starting quarterback job in Cleveland? That is where we kick off today's episode of Four Verts, where we talk NFL and college football almost every single day. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Report from Kimberly Martin of ESPN saying that people in the Browns organization are behind Sanders and suggesting that he could win that job. Here's what she had to say via ESPN. She said, in that building, there are people who believe Sanders can 100% be the starter of this football team. You said it's incumbent upon the Browns to put him in the situation. It's also incumbent upon Sanders or Shedeur to do the work, which talking to people in that building, they've said he is soaking up everything like a sponge. Look, we've talked about this quite a bit since the draft, from the bizarre Browns handling of the draft, to taking Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round, to Shedeur in the 5th round after having already traded for Kenny Pickett and signing Joe Flacco. It's a weird situation. But what we've also discussed, and what I'll re-mention here, is since the draft and since Shedeur has gotten into the building, by all accounts, he's handled this the right way. And it could have gone one way or the other. He could have pouted, complained, this is bullshit, I shouldn't have fallen to the 5th round. Or he could go in there, put his head down, go to work, and try to compete. And it sounds like that is what he has been doing. Joe Flacco said he's really enjoyed spending time around him. Now, how does this competition play out? Who knows? I mean, 4 quarterbacks, eventually they're going to have to narrow this down. You can't give 4 quarterbacks a significant amount of reps in OTAs, certainly, but especially in training camp. Like, you got to get this down to 2 or 3, and I think that's going to be a challenge. But it does sound like Shedeur has looked pretty good up to this point. And one thing I will say again, when it comes to the Browns and when it comes to Shedeur in this QB position, if I were a Browns fan, I am way more interested in Shedeur Sanders and the idea of him winning this job than Kenny Pickett, who reportedly has been getting the first crack at the first team reps, than even Dillon Gabriel. Maybe that's unfair to Dillon Gabriel, but does anyone on the outside really believe that Gabriel's a better prospect than Shedeur? Because I don't. I guess the Browns do. But by all reports and accounts, Shedeur has looked better. And Joe Flacco, like I've said all along, if neither of the 2 rookies are ready to play, he can start early on. But Kenny Pickett, are we really going to force the issue here? Like, well, we traded a 5th and got back a 7th. We feel obligated to try this out. I don't think he's the next Sam Darnold. Like, I don't think Kenny Pickett is reestablishing his NFL career. 2 teams have punted on him in 3 years. So I just, again, you don't put Shedeur out there if he's not ready. I understand. But if he looks the part, looks pretty good, and if maybe it's pretty even across the board, why not? Why not see what the kid can do? Because he's the one guy, to me, that would offer hope and excitement for this franchise at that position. Should the Browns start Shedeur Sanders? What do you think? Type Y for yes, they should, or type N for no, they should not. If he plays well, performs, has a good training camp in preseason, I don't see why not. It's not like this year is a high leverage year for that franchise. Okay, a lot of QB talk today. No QB controversy in Seattle, as Mike Macdonald shot that down on 710 ESPN in Seattle. He was asked, is there a situation where someone else could win the QB1 job, with Drew Lock and obviously Jalen Milroe in the building as well, chasing Sam Darnold? And he said, no, you guys are crazy. I respect that you've got to ask it, but it's just a crazy question. It's not going to happen. Sam's our starting quarterback. We love him. He's doing a tremendous job. And look, this is kind of just the natural, media circus that happens when you draft a quarterback and when the guy you signed is good, had a good year last year, but it's not like he's established in this league. You know, if Sam Darnold has another good year this year, I would say he's established, right? It's kind of like Baker. Like, when he had that bounce back year in Tampa, everyone was like, okay, good year. Can he do it again? Like, he got the contract Darnold just got. I was like, okay, we'll give you 3 years, $100 million, but can you do it again? And now that he has, if Baker has a 3rd straight good season, he's going to get a huge contract. That's kind of how this works. So Darnold's now in this situation where, can he do it again? Maybe not to this level, but can he put up 85% of those numbers? 65% completion, flirt with 4,000 yards, 25 to 28 touchdowns, less than 15 picks. Like, if he does that, that's 2 really good years in a row. And let's just face it, too. Jalen Milroe is not ready to play right now. At least not full-time quarterback. Now, I do think he's a rare QB3 that I would have active on game day because most teams do not. They have him inactive, and then they're the emergency QB with the new rule if the starter and the backup get hurt. I do think creating a package for him makes sense because I think he can be a weapon and a playmaker early on as he develops not on non-game days to actually play the quarterback position in the NFL, but they brought in Drew Lock for a reason. Like, he makes more sense to be the natural backup to Sam Darnold right now. I think putting Milroe in there to like be your primary starter really at any point in the season outside of maybe like a week 18 scenario where the season's over if they're completely out of it, I think would be pretty insane. He is just very raw when it comes to playing quarterback in the NFL. This could be a situation where he needs to develop for 2 years, not just one. Subscribe to the channel for free and daily NFL college football content. We are chasing 11,000 subscribers. Shout out to the real ones who have been with us for the beginning. We're going on 10-plus months. Launched this channel late July of 2024, so we're looking to keep this going. Almost 1,000 subs a month on average, so let's keep the momentum train. If you want free and daily content, we got you guys covered. Okay, one more QB storyline coming out of OTAs. Jaxson Dart has been getting some first-team reps with the Giants. Obviously, Russell Wilson's the starter, and Jameis Winston's getting some reps with the ones as well as they go through this. Obviously, Jaxson Dart figures into their plans more than Tommy DeVito. It's just kind of like one of those listed things there. But I think this is an interesting situation because what the Giants shouldn't do. First of all, I do like them giving him some first-team reps. That is smart. But what they shouldn't do is, what if they start like 0-4? Well, the fan base is going to be screaming for Jaxson Dart. I don't think Jaxson Dart is ready. Now, I don't think he's as raw as Jalen Milroe, but I don't think he's ready. I would not put him out there in September or October. I think that would be a mistake. You brought in Russell Wilson for a reason. He can hold down the fort. If he's a disaster, you've got Jameis Winston. But the reality is unless Joe Shane and Brian Daboll have received assurances from ownership that they're going to get a 2-year runway here after drafting Dart no matter what, you know, head coaches, GMs, they panic. They might say, shit, our only chance to save our job might be forcing Dart onto the field and trying to show John Mara that he can be something, that we can develop him. And then you run into a situation is if he's not ready and you put him out there and he really struggles, not only does it hurt you right then and there, you probably lose your jobs, and it probably hurts Jaxson Dart long term. So I would not play him until at least November. I look at like Thanksgiving time, right? That's always kind of like a benchmark of an NFL season. If they're out of it after Thanksgiving week, okay, let them start the final 4 weeks of the season, whatever the case may be. But I would not put him out there beforehand unless he just, shocks us and is ready. I don't think he is. I think he's got a long way to go. But again, I don't think you bring in both Russ and Jameis when everybody kind of knows you're drafting a quarterback unless you're at least willing to be patient. I think they need to stick to that. Do not force the issue. Start Russell Wilson. Have Jameis ready to go early on if there's an injury or if Russ just really falls off a cliff. And then look toward November, December as an opportunity to get Dart onto the field. But I will say this. I like that they're giving him some first-team reps. Kind of like last year at the Patriots. Jacoby Brissett was always going to start week 1, but they were giving Drake May some reps. Now, I think Drake May was more pro-ready than Jaxson Dart, but you get my drift. Working some reps. Russ is a veteran. He doesn't need them all, but don't force him into game action early on in the season. Now, I'm curious here. Who do you guys think plays first? And when I mean plays, I mean like gets a start, not just handing the ball off with 2 minutes left because the game's over. Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland, type SS, or Jaxson Dart in New York, type JD. Who do you guys think gets a start first? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. My name is Harrison Graham. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. We will be back soon with more content, so stay tuned.